you need to start recognizing the wins that you're creating instead of looking 100 miles down the road saying, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. Because I got news for you. You're never going to, quote unquote, be there yet. So you got to be able to recognize the wins. Hey, I lost a pound this week. Hey, my pants fit a little bit better. Hey, I gained 50 followers. The little unsexy things that nobody brags about, you need to start recognizing and bragging to yourself about.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
Before we jump into it, this is literally probably last call for the Elite Entrepreneur Mastermind if you want to join us for 2025. We had so many awesome people pull the trigger on accepting their invitation. And if you're wondering what that means, you fill an application, then you and I get on a Zoom to see if you're a great fit. I only extend an invitation if I know that we can move the needle for you as a group. And then some people take that invitation, some people don't. And so many people ended up taking their invitations that we extended over the past handful of, week or two, that now it's kind of do or die type of time. So listen, if you want a one-on-one strategy session with me to kick off the year, if you want 2 3.5 day in-person business retreats led by Lori and I and our team with incredible 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs
In beautiful locations.
in beautiful 5-star type of experiences, because we like to help you dream a little bit. And if you want a monthly problem solving call where we as a group solve your challenge, and even if you don't have a challenge that month, you learn from all the idea exchanges going on with other people's current challenges. And if you want to be able to text me and ask Lori and I a question every single day of the year, Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 about your business whenever something comes up, those things are included in the Elite Level Mastermind. I know, insane, but only a couple spots left. It's do or die time. So hit pause real quick if you want to apply. By the way, you have to have a business that's making over $500,000 a year to apply. That's the one rule in order to apply. You got to have a business that's over $500,000 to apply. Most are 7- and 8-figure businesses in there. So if that's you, hit pause real quick. Go to chrisharder.me/mastermind and click apply. Seriously, you got to rush over. chrisharder.me/mastermind and then click apply. All right. So we want to talk about micro wins today. And I think like the spice of life is when you can start to recognize the micro wins instead of concentrating on the great big grand slam, right? When am I going to get to the top of the mountain? When am I going to win the game? And I'm guilty of this. And I've done a good job of reframing and building in daily practices to recognize, like when we go on our walk at the end of the day, we say, all right, what are 3 wins? Mm-hmm. I've built this muscle to be able to find and recognize the micro wins out of necessity, because otherwise I wasn't happy. I was always looking up at the top of the mountain, or I was always looking at the finish line at the end of the marathon, saying that looks too far away. Damn it. When am I going to get the huge boost? When am I going to get the huge win? When am I going to get the great big break that moves me 75% of the way? Mm-hmm. The truth is, it's not how it works. It's just not how it works. And then you become miserable and you become burnt out and you become kind of tired of chasing this mountaintop because it's so far away. Gosh, I walked a mile uphill yesterday. I'm still 1,000 miles away. Why keep going? And that can be really overwhelming and depressing. And it can derail you from the goal that one time really, really excited you and meant something to you. And the way to fix that is to take account of the micro wins. Lori, you've always done a pretty good job of this, I think.
So, it's almost February, and January 16th is actually nationally known as Quitter's Day. And I believe, yes, from New Year's resolutions. And I believe and know that is because we don't set the goals properly. We don't focus on the micro win. So already we don't see a result from what we're doing, and we don't consider doing the thing a win. And that is where we really need to switch into the focus of, no, just the fact that you're doing the thing is the win. And when you do it long enough, you're going to get the result. I promise you. I promise you. And so one of the first places that I learned this was when I first really got into fitness and exercise. And thankfully, along the way, the micro wins for me were that I noticed that, even before I was like, ooh, so proud of myself, I worked out today, my anxiety felt a lot less every day. I didn't have that as anxious of energy. So I started to be like, okay, it's a win for me when I exercise because I kind of can make better decisions throughout the day. I'm just making myself happier for the day. That's where a lot of the title of Earn Your Happy came from, is having these realizations of these little tiny micro things that you're doing through the day is how you slowly add up a great day and how you slowly earn it and how you slowly get happy. And I can tell you, the people that I would train, because I had my own gym back in the day, and I trained people one-on-one for probably, I don't know, Chris, was that 6 years?
I don't think it was that long.
5 years?
Yeah.
Between the gym and then my gym, between LA Fitness and then my gym. And I just, cycled through so many people because I watched it firsthand. I watched people not understand the micro wins. Not understand that every day that they come and do something different than they were doing is eventually going to give them a different result. And they just cannot wrap their brain around that, because what can happen is also then you're sore. Then you're kind of missing out on some of the joys of your life and you haven't figured out how to replace those yet. So you're kind of in this no man's land where you really, really, really need to figure out how to make the micro wins the things that you are going after every day rather than the big goal.
I'll tell you, I had a client, and this is kind of what brought up this topic. This is a good topic to talk about. I had a client that I worked with, one of our elite level mastermind members, and we were going back and forth via text. And one of the assignments I gave him when we did his strategy session was to go all in on growing his social media, because he's really good at it when he concentrates on it. How hard it is to grow Instagram? For some reason, a combination of his subject matter and his skill set, he can really grow it when he puts all of his effort into it. Mm-hmm. But he had kind of taken his eye off the ball, right? And so a couple months went by. I checked in. Hey, man, how'd you do? And kind of unceremoniously, he said, I grew it by a few thousand since we talked last. I said, what? In a couple months? He's like, yeah. He's like, but I feel like it should be going faster than that. And then on top of that, he's like, and it's not generating as many new applications as I was hoping it was. Now, I'm not going to unpack the whole long sales cycle process here. What I'm going to say is all he could concentrate on was the things that it wasn't yet. It wasn't the big number yet. Mm-hmm. It wasn't generating the big leads yet. It wasn't creating all the extra sales yet. And he was 2 months in. And I'm like, dude, that's such a win. Do you know how many people would kill to be able to generate an extra 1,000 followers a month for a couple months in a row? That's really moving the needle.
On the exact subject matter, I'm sure.
Exact subject matter, because it's very niche. And by the way, I'm being vague because I don't want to point this person out. Normally I'd say who they are and give them promotion, but I don't want to point this person out because I'm saying, hey, he wasn't looking at the right thing here. And so we had a conversation. I'm like, you need to start recognizing the wins that you're creating instead of looking 100 miles down the road saying, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Because I got news for you. You're never kind of there yet. Mm-mm. Even my business partner, Matt, that sold his company for, multiple 9 figures, he's not there yet. He has things that he feels like, I'm not there yet. You're never going to, quote unquote, be there yet. So you got to be able to recognize the wins. Hey, I lost a pound this week. Hey, my pants fit a little bit better. Hey, I gained 50 followers. Hey, I put 75 new people on my email list this month. Mm-hmm. Hey, my downloads went up by 1% this month. Mm-hmm. The little unsexy things that nobody brags about, you need to start recognizing and bragging to yourself about.
So I'm really working on this with social following, but also my email list. So I'm starting to get really focused on it. And I had created this secret podcast Operation Rekindle This Bitch, which I'm obsessed with and I love it. And, it brought in people into the email list, but I was really hoping that it would bring in even more people into the email list. And so instead of looking at, what it brought in and being super excited about it, I kind of wrote it off. And I was like, okay, well, that didn't move the needle as much as I wanted. But I'm like, all right, so now I have an opt-in that I can use over and over, meaning I can continue to launch this over and over and drive things to it. And also, I got in a ton of people. Like, I should be celebrating every single person. And if you listen to it and it was, if it called you, it's my exact person that I want to be nurturing on my list, that in the future, I hope to get in the mastermind with, or that I hope to be on one of our programs, or that I hope to have at one of my events, or, one of my retreats, whatever that looks like. So it's really, this conversation was as much for Chris and I as it is for you guys. And another thing that I'm working on in my life is just, I really want to dial in my health and nutrition this year. I told you guys, if you listen to the Rekindle This Bitch podcast, I'm really focused on just my health, my strength, and my skin. Those are like the main things this year for me that I really want to dial in. And so what I noticed is I'm going to the workspace a lot, and also this other little coffee shop that I love, that you guys has the most amazing gluten-free banana bread. And what I started doing is I was like going for lunch and having the banana bread instead of this shake that I committed to. And so I'm back to putting the shake in my purse and saying, this is a micro win. When I drink my isogenic shake, you guys, I'm back on the wagon. I've done it for 14 years. And whenever my life is going really well, it's because I kind of have that really healthy, structured lunch. And for me, and sometimes I'll have 2 shakes in between, or whatever you like to do, 3 or 4 meals.
For 14 years.
But it changes how I feel all afternoon. And then I also know that, I'm all about the strength and keeping my muscle. I'm in my 40s now, so I absolutely want to pump all of that protein. So I'm like, nope, you're committed to having this isogenic shake. You're not leaving this coffee shop until you've had the shake and not the banana bread. Like, I'm always like, I have to drink this first. If I still want the banana bread, I will. But that is not a lunch that's going to get me to my goals. And so I already feel like whenever I do that, I'm like, micro win. This is winning. This is building what I want.
Shout out Isojet, 14 years.
I know. Maybe it's longer now.
I love that company. I love the food that they produce. Hey, if you guys want to grab it, go grab it on our link. I think, was it loriharder.isogenics.com. We'll drop it down in the show notes. 14 years, you just made me realize that we've been drinking their shakes, eating their food, taking their vitamins. That's crazy.
Well, lately I was like, why don't we talk about our actual routines? Like, I talk about Glossy all the time. It's one of my main supplements, but obviously it's my supplement and we're obsessed with it. You do 2 a day. But something that I'm going to start doing more of, because it's hard for me to tell people to have the energy to do what they want to do in these big dreams and get in these rooms and these masterminds when you don't feel good about your health, when you don't have the energy, and your food is probably making you feel anxious or depressed or not worthy. I'm not even kidding. I believe that you eat your mood.
Yeah.
And so when you look at your plate, what type of mood are you eating? If you're eating potato chips and if you're eating freaking banana bread at lunch, I'm eating sleepiness. I'm eating tired. I'm eating lethargy. And that's not that's not high achiever food.
No.
And so, I'm like, why do we not talk? I come from health and fitness. That's my whole background. But one of the things I want to do this year is like not gatekeep the things that are really working for me. And I also want to try out new skincare and share it. I want to try out, new little hacks that are helping me eat better, because I'm so busy that I want to figure that out too.
Yeah. For me, it's Frello. Like, Frello has been so much tougher and so much bigger and so much more complicated, and has dealt so many more effing pain in the asses than I ever foresaw coming, that I've had to go back to looking at the micro wins. Like, getting this meeting with so-and-so is a micro win. Mm-hmm. Getting this one person on board is and all I can focus on is being launched is the win. And that's not the truth. Of course, that's the mountaintop that we're going towards. And then guess what? We're going to move in the mountaintop when that happens. Mm-hmm. But really, at this point, getting launched is the win. And so if that's such the big win, then I have to appreciate, or I'm going to get real frustrated, the micro wins of, yay, we finally got this meeting date set. Yay, we finally got this person on board. Yay, or I will go absolutely crazy, only focusing on what we don't have instead of what we are doing and accomplishing.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, you guys, I'm so grateful for you for tuning in and just always sharing too. It's so fun to hear what different things hit, but I really, really hope that you do something to remind yourself of the micro wins. And even just saying that, as I was kind of sharing before, I actually say the word throughout the day. Like, okay, it's about this micro win. Like, just stack micro wins. That's what's going to get you the big wins.
Yeah, we do our 3 wins when we walk every night. And it's real tough, guys, sometimes. Like, sometimes you don't feel like doing it. But I'll say to Lori, or she'll say to me, all right, 3 wins. And I'm like, I don't feel like it right now. She's like, come on, 3 wins. And then I can't think of them. And then 2 minutes of like, all right, fine, I have to think it. She's not going to let this go. I'm like, oh yeah, this one person, joined the mastermind. They're really cool. And then another was like, we got this unexpected rebate. That's a little win. Or, like I find wins that happen that day that I would have otherwise skipped over and called it a mediocre day. So micro wins, micro wins, micro wins. It will change your life. Here's a micro win for you. You hitting stop right now, going to chrisharder.me/mastermind and applying to get one of those last couple spots in our elite level mastermind. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We always love and appreciate you.
We will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.